Praise the Lord. Another great moment for us to talk about worship. God is looking for true worshipers. Some time ago, I introduced ourselves to the worship leader and the closet. Allow me today go a little deeper so that we can understand who the true worshiper is, who the worship leader is, and the importance of the closet. Now, we need to understand this whole package of a worship leader that will help us appreciate the kind of task before us and why the closet is very important. As a worship leader, you are a counselor. You have members in your team who need support, and therefore you must be ready for that assignment. It is not an everyday job for you to be a counselor. You need somebody to work with you, and remember, this is in the spiritual realm. There are spiritual issues that have to be handled, therefore you must be ready. As a worship leader, you are a leader. You and me know the challenges of being a leader, be it in the spiritual world, when we talk about the church, in schools where we sit, wherever we work. Being a leader is not something very easy. The closet therefore becomes very, very important. As a worship leader, you are an administrator. There are some day-to-day things that you must look at and organize and ensure that your team is not only spiritually tuned, but also physically ready to stand before people and usher them in the presence of God. As a worship leader, you are a shepherd. Oh, now when it comes to that one, that is even more interesting. We talk about the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not be in want. And here the Lord calls you to partner with him in shepherding his people. And therefore you must know his heart if you're going to be that shepherd. Hence the need for the closet. The worship leader is an organizer. And you know what? You must be ready to set your team in place so that they are able to do the work that God has called them to do. It is not something very easy to serve the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords as a worship leader. So you need the closet. The kind of organization for you in that capacity may be very different from what we see elsewhere. Therefore, you need support. As a worship leader, you are a communicator. If there is somebody who communicates at different levels, it is a worship leader. 1, you communicate with God. 2, you communicate with a pastoral team, the church leadership, coordinating with them to ensure that when you stand on the pulpit, when you are ushering God's people into his presence, you are flowing with the church leadership. You communicate at that level, but you also communicate with your entire team. I have seen some worship leaders who cannot communicate with their team members. It becomes frustrating and somehow a tug of war for something that would have been fun, but becomes really, really challenging. And then you communicate with the congregation. When it comes to the congregation, that's a different ball game. There are children, there are adults, there are those who have fought in their marriages, there are those whose businesses have fallen apart. All those are before you, and you are supposed to be that communicator. Now let me tell you, when God was calling you into the worship ministry, he knew that you did not have all those qualities. Paul says, "Thanks be to God who has counted me worthy and qualified me." You know what? You were just qualified. You didn't have what it takes, but when he qualifies you, he equips you so that you are able to serve him. And Paul again says, I am able to do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Philippians 4:13. We can do all things. You can be all that. But for you to become that, you must fall in love with the closet. I want you to look at those roles, the characteristics. Where do you fall short? If you need help, help will always be around. And that begins with the closet. God is your initial help because He is the one who called you into this serious business. May God bless you as you choose to fall in love with the closet. Remember to subscribe to our channel as we build the army of worshipers. Loving you always.